Welcome to America Today, your number one source of reliable and verified news, and in-depth features on the daily happenings around America. Nigerian Socialite, born Raymond Igbalode but also referred to as Ramon Abbas, though popularly known as Hushpuppi, who is currently being held at the Metropolitan Correctional Center in Chicago, the same facility with R. Kelly, was on Friday, September 4, sentenced to 11 years in prison by the United States Central District Court in California. According to reports, the socialite will spend only 9 years in the U.S. prison, given he has already spent 2 years in prison following his arrest in Dubai. Hushpuppi was in June 2020 apprehended in Dubai, over a comprehensive fraud and money laundering scheme that has robbed victims of their money in many countries including in Europe and the United States of America. He was picked up together with his friend Woodbury. Before his arrest, he was known for his lavish, extravagant lifestyle and flashy Instagram posts that earned him popularity as flashy billionaire across the globe. The Nigerian billionaire, who was then based in Dubai, was arrested in 2020 by the Federal Bureau of Investigation and the International Police, based on the account of money laundering, after some cases of international fraud were finally linked to them. He was then extradited to the United States, where he was charged with fraud and money laundering, and numerous other related charges including multiple counts of hacking, impersonation, scamming, bank fraud, and identity theft. He is also allegedly charged in a $35 million COVID-19 ventilator fraud, which was purported to be given to Native Americans during the coronavirus pandemic. He pleaded guilty in April 2021, after prosecutors discovered his involvement in a separate conspiracy to defraud a Qatari businessperson, who allegedly lost up to $810,000 in the process of trying to obtain an elusive loan to set up an international school. Hushpuppi has been sentenced to only 11 years, after appealing to U.S. Judge Otis Wright, as he scored high in cleaning activities while in prison. In a final appeal to Judge Otis Wright, Hushpuppi wrote a personal letter to the court, narrating his source of wealth, criminal adventure, and his regrets. In the letter, he also apologized to his family members for bringing them shame, while commending the Federal Bureau of Investigation for doing a thorough job in bringing him to book. American attorneys led by Khaldoon Shobaki in the U.S. Central District of California had also argued that Hushpuppi should also be asked to pay $1.7 million in restitution, $500,000 in fines and $100 in administrative fees, per recommendation submitted ahead of his sentencing. The government recommends that defendant be sentenced to 135 months imprisonment, followed by a 3-year term of supervised release, and that defendant be ordered to pay restitution of $1.7 million, a fine of $500,000, and a mandatory special assessment of $100, the September 7 filing read. The prosecutors argued that their sentencing recommendations were appropriate considering the gravity of Hushpuppi's crimes. The government said one of his co-conspirators, Galip Al-Ameri, was sentenced to 140 years in jail for violating the same set of criminal codes. By his own admission, during just an 18-month period, defendant conspired to launder over $300 million, the prosecutors said. While much of this intended loss did not ultimately materialize, defendant's willingness and ability to participate in large-scale money laundering highlights the seriousness of his criminal conduct. The government said, Mr. Abbas' criminal path was premeditated, even though he had a clear chance to choose a rewarding career as a law-abiding citizen. Defendant's history and personal characteristics are not mitigating. Indeed, given his stable family and education, defendant was well situated to be a law-abiding member of society, officials said. Instead, he chose to pursue a global celebrity lifestyle by swindling innocent victims and laundering money for criminals of all stripes. His greed and ego have driven the many offenses he is known to have engaged in, and he has made a living and cultivated a following by using his ill-gotten gains to create an extravagant lifestyle for himself. Officials further stressed. Mr. Abbas' sentencing, the government argued, was reduced because he cooperated with detectives on their criminal cases under investigation and prosecution in American courts. Hushpuppi had previously tried to seek a release on humanitarian grounds, but Judge Otis Wright declined his pleas, for failing to comply with extant court rules. The $2.2 million total in restitution and fines will add to the millions of dollars already confiscated from bank accounts and Bitcoin wallets linked to the fraudster, following his arrest. In March, a document emerged on social media, claiming that the FBI had filed new evidence against Hushpuppi for allegedly defrauding Americans using the prison's internet facilities. It is not clear where the document originated from, yet it went viral on Twitter, and was extensively reported by many news media outlets. An official of the U.S. Department of Justice, however, later announced that the U.S. Attorney's Office in Los Angeles, which filed the original case against Hushpuppi, has not filed any such document. The document appears to have been fabricated. We have checked with the FBI, who supposedly authored the document, and they confirm it is a fake, an official said then. The U.S. authorities added that prisoners actually have limited access to the telephone, video, internet and computer use, because of their right to privacy in a court filing, explaining that, just like the rest of the detainees in the facility, Hushpuppi was actually granted access to the computer network, but there was no proof of the allegations that he actually defrauded Americans using the prison's internet facilities, according to the authorities. Hushpuppi is best known for posting photos of his lavish lifestyle on Instagram, where he boasts a huge following of up to 2.5 million followers. That's all we had for you in this feature. Please let us know in the comment section below whether you personally think that Hushpuppi's fate is well deserving, based on the crimes he actually confessed to committing. We thank you in advance for your views, opinions, and genuine feedback. If you are new to this channel, be sure to subscribe and turn on notifications so you never miss any of our upcoming features.